Chapter 14. Eventually, I find my way back to the killer campfire. Philip is there again, along with a few other killers I haven't met yet. Oh, hi Isaac. He waves at me. He also introduces me to the other killers that were there. Amanda, the pig. She's good at sneaking up on survivors. She also uses traps, which she calls reverse bear traps on survivors. Lisa, the hag, who I have met but not properly. She apologized to me in a raspy voice to attack me for not knowing I was a fellow killer. I guess that's a little easy to make that mistake, since the entity keeps switching my side every other trial. Evan, the trapper. He seems to be the first one here, the leader of the group. He's quiet and stoic. And Freddy, or the Nightmare, Quentin's antagonist, can put people into a sleep state where he can attack them. After being introduced to these killers, I decided to ask Amanda about her skills. She explained to me how to sneak up on survivors and how to fix the hooks so that survivors can't break them. Lisa also taught me how to set up a hex totem to make it harder for survivors to do generators. Satisfied with the stuff I had learned from the killers, I decided to find my way back to the survivor campfire. If I was going to learn how to kill, I might as well also learn how to survive. I've already learned from Lori and Claudette, plus a little from Meg. Maybe I'll talk to Adam and Fang. Adam can pick up rocks and throw and distract killers, and Fang can keep the generators from exploding. I decided to go to Adam for advice. Picking up rocks I find is easy. What about where to throw them? Hey, I started, sitting next to Adam, who was sitting on a log by himself, filling with what looked like to be an old, broken calculator. Do you have a moment? Do I have a moment? He retorted. I have all the time in the world right now, unless I get put into a trial. What's up? He slides the calculator into a pocket of his jacket. So I know that you throw rocks and stuff to distract killers, but what are good places to throw them? You don't really want to just throw them anywhere, right? Well, yeah, I mean, when you're hiding from the killer and they're nearby, throwing the rock into a further bush or tall grass can trick them into thinking there's a survivor there, he explained. And when you're in the chase, if you manage to leave the killer's vision for a short while, you can throw it at a locker, window, or generator to make them search there while you make your getaway. Oh, I nod. That makes sense. Thanks for letting me know. I smile. Adam nods. Anytime, Isaac. I'm always happy to share knowledge with the other survivors. I get up, trying to find something new to do. I can always ask another survivor for tips, or I could ask another killer. I decide to head back to the killer's campfire. On my way there, something feels off. I stop in my tracks and look around. My chest hurts a bit, so I know that I'm about to be pulled into another trial. But it definitely feels like someone is watching me. I narrow my eyes, watching as a humanoid figure stands and approaches me quickly, knife at the ready. Wait, knife? Another new killer? The face, mask, comes into view. It looks like a screaming face. That's all I see before the entity pulls me into a new trial, just before the person reaches me. A new trial. Great. I regain my vision, looking around to find myself in yet another wooded area. This place gave off the same vibes as the area at the very first trial I was in. Was it the same place? I looked next to me, hearing the sound of running water. Nearby was a tall fountain, with strange design and flowing water. I looked into the water at my reflection. I still looked like the same me, albeit a little scarred up and dirty looking. A noise nearby caught my attention. It sounded like someone puking. I cautiously approached the sound as my heartbeat quickened. The killer? I turned a corner of an outcrop of walls to come face to face with a tall, headdress donning killer from the campfire. The plague. Chapter 15. The tall priestess looked down at me, a small frown dawning her face. She recognized me from the killer's fire. So why was I in her match? She started speaking, but I couldn't understand what she was saying. She quickly realized and shook her head, leaving me behind to go search for other survivors. I stand still for a moment, puzzled. I jump slightly when a voice pipes up on my left. What was that about? It's Lori. I turn to her. What? That killer? Why did they attack you? Her eyebrows meet in confusion. I don't know, I lied. Maybe she didn't want to? A killer that doesn't want to kill? You gotta be kidding me. I know. This sounds weird. I mean, it's not the first time. That match with the Wraith, he found me in the locker and left without attacking. With the Legion, they just played with me. I try not to blow my cover. The plague probably didn't attack me because I met her as a killer. Lori shrugs and points to her right. Well, there's a gen this way. Let's go work on it. She leads me to a generator, which we promptly start to work on repairing. I noticed something wrong with the pallet near the generator. There was a greenish liquid on it. I left the generator to investigate and found that it seemed to be puke. It breathed. Just being near the pallet made me nauseous, so I left it to go back to the generator. What'd you leave for? Lori raises an eyebrow, looking over in the direction I had gone. Think someone puked at that pallet there. I point to it and continue working on the generator. Probably best not to touch it. Lori nods and we continue working, finish up the generator quickly. A fast heartbeat signifies that the plague is nearby. Lori grabs my hand and leads me through a small maze of some sort of rock wall, but the plague blocks our path. She tilts her head up, muttering in a strange language. Lori looks at me, confused. Then it hits us. A putrid green liquid envelops Lori and I, coming right from the plague's mouth. I gag and drag Lori away from the killer, hiding. What the hell is that? Lori whispers yells, coughing and wiping her face. She sniffs herself, and her face quickly contorts into one of disgust, mixed with a bit of nausea. Not clue, I pinch my nose. But it definitely was an attack of some sort. I'm stopped by a coughing fit. Lori looks a bit concerned, but that doesn't last long, as she starts coughing too. This isn't good. I look around, making sure the killer didn't follow us. We need to get cleaned up before we get sick. Lori nods and points to a nearby water fountain. We head over to it, quickly splashing the water onto ourselves. The water quickly takes a dark red hue, and our heartbeat quickens. She must have known we were gonna come here. The plague appears from behind a wall and hits Lori with a weapon. Shit! I grab Lori and run, weaving between trees and walls to get away. The killer didn't follow. I stopped after noticing that we had lost her. Another generator goes off in the distance. At least the other survivors are getting something done. Chapter 16. Lori sits against the wall, holding her head. That must have been where the killer hit her. I crouch down next to her to make sure that she's okay. She looks kind of dazed, almost as if she's in a trance of some sort. Lori? I frowned slightly, worried for my friend. Are you okay? She doesn't answer for a moment before slowly looking at me. What? She moves her hand away from the side of her head, and I see that it's covered in blood. She makes a short coughing sound before turning herself away from me to puke. My eyebrows furrow in worry. You're definitely not okay. I reach into my pants pocket and pull out a roll of gauze to wrap around her head. This should help. Everything seems to magically heal with gauze here. I then proceed to wrap said gauze around her wound in an attempt to help. Lori seems to immediately get better. What happened? She asks, suddenly touching the gauze upon her head. The killer hit you. Are you feeling better? Lori nods and stands up, using the wall for support. I'm okay. How many generators do we have left to do? One more. We should go work on it. Lori nods and we leave the area, looking for a generator to work on. We approach one that we can hear. It already has progress on it, surprisingly. We turn the corner and see Jake, who already has the generator 75% done. He glances up at us before focusing back at the generator. Hey, Isaac. Hey, Lori. Hey, Jake. Lori hums. Who's the other survivor? I ask curiously. Kate. The killer chased her off, though. He continues working on the generator. Before he could finish, the heartbeat pounded in my ears as the plague approached us. Jake worked faster in an attempt to finish it before she arrived. I didn't get to see the results, though, as I ran off. I didn't want to have the plague not attack me again and make the others suspicious. although I do feel bad for leaving Lori and Jake behind. I made my way into a temple-like building. I stopped running once I heard it. The call of somebody from a southern accented voice. Help! Somebody! I looked around for the source of the voice and found a staircase leading down into a basement-like area. No, not the one that gives me a bad feeling. Just a second floor to the temple. I headed down and continued following the voice until I come across Kate. She is dangling from a hook. Her eyes light up as she sees me. Isaac, it's so good to see you. A little help? She winces, carefully pointing to the hook sticking through her shoulder. I nod and unhook her. Thank you. She tenderly touches her injury. Is Jake okay? I nod and grab a roll of gauze from my pocket. Yeah, he was almost done with the last generator, but the killer showed up, so I ran. Luckily, I ran into here. I might have not heard you calling for help otherwise. I finished patting up her shoulder and gently pat her wrapping. Kate nods. Again, thank you. We should go finish on that generator now, yeah? She asks in a sweet southern accent. We quickly leave the temple and make our way towards the area that the plague had just chased me from. As soon as we get there, Lori pokes her head out of a locker. Is it safe? She whispers yells at us. I nod as she steps out. Good. Oh, hi, Kate. She smiled and waved at the singer. Kate returns the gesture with a small wave. Where's Jake? I asked. There was no sign of the male anywhere. The killer chased him off, but he's okay. Lori frowns. Well, Lori, you should go look for Jake and see if he's in trouble. Isaac and I can fix the generator. Kate announces, putting her hand on her head. Lori nods. You two stay safe. She hunts before jogging off to find Jake. Kate starts on the generator. I follow suit. Part of the generator was damaged. The plague must have done that to hinder progress. With Kate and I working on it at the same time though, it got finished in no time. An alarm sounded through the trial, a signal that all the generators were done. It was time to open the exit gates. As Kate and I start to leave the generator, the heartbeat picks up again. A quick glance behind me confirms that the plague is heading straight for us. I grab Kate's arm and start running. We duck behind a group of pillars as the cave runs past us, not looking back to see where we had gone. That was close, Kate exclaimed. She was about to say something else, but was interrupted by a loud bell sound, followed by the ground shaking. Someone opened an exit gate. This happened last time one was open, I explained to her. Kate nods. This happened in the last trial I was in too. She put her hand over her stomach. And I know what happens when you don't leave after a certain amount of time. She looked scared. Trust me. You don't want to know what happens. We should probably leave now then, I suggest. Lori and Jake have probably already escaped. We leave our hiding spot to look for the exit gate. Kate stopped me while passing by a metal shack. I hear the hatch. She heads for the building, bringing me with. Surprisingly enough, the hatch was there, open and tempting us in. Should we go in? I mean, it's right there. Oh, sorry, that's Kate's voice. Should we go through it? I mean, it's right here. Kate asked. I nod and we hop into it. The door closes over our heads, just as a faint heartbeat plays in our ears. We made it out in time. Kate lets out a sigh of relief. Let's go back to the campfire. I definitely need to relax after that. Kate leads me through the dark tunnel and back into a forest. Through the trees, I see a light. It's flickering. A campfire. This way. I grab Kate's hand and lead her to it. Just before we reach the clearing, Kate stops. Long, spider-like appendage is shoved out of the ground between me and Kate. Kate tries to move around, but they continue to appear in front of her. Why can't I move forward? We're almost to the campfire. Kate furrows her eyebrows in confusion. Isaac? A voice asks from behind me. Kate sees the source of the voice and the expression changes to one of fear. I turn to see Philip, the vape. Why are you trying to bring a survivor to a campfire?